Imagine closing your eyes tonight and slipping into a dream so vivid, so refreshing, that you wake up feeling like your brain just had a spa day. Now imagine doing that every single night. No more tossing, no more staring at the ceiling, counting sheep that look just as tired as you feel. The secret? Unlocking the hidden patterns and hacks that guide your body straight into the deepest, most restorative REM sleep possible. And once you know them, you'll never look at bedtime the same way again. You're lying in bed, completely still. Your body looks calm, almost lifeless from the outside, but inside, your brain is throwing a party. Neurons are firing. Your heart rate is subtly increasing. Your breathing becomes irregular. And your eyes, they're darting rapidly under your eyelids as if scanning a movie screen only you can see. That's REM sleep, rapid eye movement, and it's one of the most mysterious yet most crucial states your body can enter. Unlike the earlier stages of sleep, where the focus is on physical repair, REM is where your mind gets its tune-up. This is the stage most closely linked to dreaming, memory consolidation, emotional regulation, and creative thinking. It's the brain's version of housekeeping, sorting through the day's information, deleting the useless bits, reinforcing the important ones, and making unexpected connections that lead to aha moments when you wake up. Biologically speaking, REM sleep is fascinating because it's paradoxical. On one hand, your brain activity looks almost identical to when you're awake. On the other, your body is in a state of temporary paralysis, a safety mechanism preventing you from acting out your dreams. This combination allows you to mentally roam free while physically staying put. But here's the catch. Not all REM is created equal. The first REM period of the night might last only a few minutes, while later cycles can stretch to nearly an hour. If your sleep gets interrupted before these later, deeper REM phases, you miss out on the most restorative mental benefits. Over time, this can leave you foggy, moody, and less sharp, even if you think you're getting enough sleep based on hours alone. To understand how you get to REM sleep, you need to think of your night as a series of repeating journeys, each one called a sleep cycle. On average, a cycle lasts about 90 minutes, and REM is the grand finale of each one. But before you reach that finale, your body moves through 3 earlier stages that prepare the stage for REM's arrival. The first stage, N1, is the doorway to sleep. Your muscles start to relax, your breathing slows, and you drift in and out of awareness. It's that fleeting moment when a sudden muscle twitch can jerk you awake, something scientists call a hypnic jerk. Next, you enter N2, a deeper, more stable form of light sleep. Here, your brain begins producing sleep spindles, short bursts of activity that act like mental shields, protecting you from being woken by small noises or disturbances. Then comes N3, also known as deep sleep or slow wave sleep. This is where physical restoration happens. Your tissues repair, your immune system strengthens, and growth hormones are released. Without enough of this stage, your body struggles to physically recover, no matter how long you stay in bed. Finally, if you've stayed asleep long enough, you enter REM sleep. This usually happens about 70-90 minutes after you first drift off. During REM, your brain's electrical activity skyrockets. Blood flow to your brain increases, and your dreams come alive. This is when emotional processing and creative problem solving hit their peak. The key takeaway: REM doesn't happen in isolation. It's part of a cycle, and if that cycle is broken, REM is often the first casualty. Even worse, if you're sleep deprived, your body may cut corners on the earlier stages to catch up on REM, but the quality can still suffer. When you consistently get high-quality REM sleep, it's like upgrading your brain's operating system every night. Your short-term memories from the day are carefully sorted, some archived for long-term storage, others tossed away as irrelevant clutter. This process is essential not just for recalling facts or events, but for improving skills, making decisions, and even regulating your emotions. Think of REM as your brain's emotional thermostat. During this stage, the amygdala, the region responsible for emotional responses, gets a chance to reset. Without this reset, stress and irritability can build up like static electricity. Ever wake up after a restless night and feel overly sensitive or irrationally snappy? That's your brain operating on an uncalibrated emotional system. But the influence of REM doesn't stop at your mood. Studies have linked poor REM sleep to slower reaction times, weaker problem-solving abilities, and even increased risk for neurodegenerative diseases later in life. On the flip side, strong REM patterns have been associated with enhanced creativity, better learning capacity, and improved adaptability under stress. Interestingly, your body prioritizes REM differently depending on your needs. If you've been under heavy emotional strain, your brain may naturally extend REM duration to help you process those feelings. If you've been pushing yourself intellectually, REM may lean more toward cementing new knowledge. In that way, it's an adaptive, intelligent process, but only if you give it the time it needs to work. The problem in our modern world is that so many factors, late night screen time, inconsistent bedtimes, caffeine overload, stress, chip away at the conditions that allow for strong, healthy REM cycles. We'll be exploring those threats in depth later. But for now, it's enough to understand this. REM is not just dream time. It's a full-scale brain maintenance program that your health can't afford to skip. If REM sleep is the crown jewel of your night, the sleep cycle is the treasure map that gets you there. Most people think of sleep as a single, unbroken state. But in reality, it's a series of repeating patterns, like riding a train that makes the same stops every time before finally pulling into the REM station. Each cycle averages about 90 minutes, though this can vary slightly from person to person. The night starts with lighter stages of sleep, progresses to deep, restorative phases, and then crescendos into REM. Once the REM period ends, the cycle resets, beginning again at light sleep. On a good night, you'll pass through 4 to 6 cycles, meaning 4 to 6 opportunities to access quality REM. Here's the fascinating part. The balance of each stage changes as the night goes on. In early cycles, your body devotes more time to deep, slow wave sleep for physical restoration. Later in the night, deep sleep shortens and REM phases stretch longer, sometimes up to 40-60 minutes in the final cycle before you wake. This is why waking too early, even by just an hour, can rob you of the richest REM experience of the night. Timing matters here. If you wake up right in the middle of deep sleep, you'll often feel groggy and disoriented, a phenomenon known as sleep inertia. But if you wake at the end of a REM phase, you're far more likely to feel alert and refreshed. That's why some people use sleep tracking devices or even simple timing strategies to line up their wake-up moment with the completion of a cycle. Your nightly journey toward REM begins with stage N1, the lightest stage of sleep. It usually lasts just a few minutes and acts as the on-ramp to the deeper stages. During N1, your muscles relax, your breathing slows, and your brain waves shift from active beta and alpha patterns toward slower theta waves. This is the stage where you might still hear faint background noises or feel like you're drifting in and out of consciousness. Next comes stage N2, a slightly deeper form of light sleep, where your body starts shutting out the world. Brain activity shows unique bursts called sleep spindles and K complexes, which are believed to help protect your sleep from disruptions and assist in memory processing. You spend roughly 50% of the night in N2, making it the most common stage of sleep. After that, you descend into stage N3, or deep, slow wave sleep. This is the most restorative physical stage. Your body repairs tissues, strengthens your immune system, and releases growth hormone. Brain waves here are slow and high in amplitude, known as delta waves. Waking up from N3 is tough. You'll often feel disoriented
if pulled out of it suddenly. Finally, you reach REM sleep, the high-energy, paradoxical stage we discussed in Chapter 1. It's here that your brain activity skyrockets, vivid dreams unfold, and critical cognitive processes take place. While REM typically starts short, just 5 to 10 minutes in the first cycle, it expands as the night progresses, becoming the highlight of the later cycles. Understanding the purpose of each stage is crucial because disruptions in one often ripple into others. If your deep sleep is cut short, for example, REM can be delayed or reduced. Likewise, if you can't reach REM regularly, your memory, mood, and creativity can all take a hit, even if your deep sleep is strong. A healthy sleep cycle is like a perfectly rehearsed dance. Each stage flows naturally into the next, and by morning, you've completed multiple rounds of the routine. But in reality, many of us have nights where the rhythm is broken. Sleep cycle disruption can happen for countless reasons. Inconsistent bedtimes, nighttime awakenings, stress, caffeine, alcohol, heavy meals before bed, or environmental disturbances like light and noise. Even seemingly minor interruptions, such as checking your phone for just a second, can yank your brain out of the deeper stages and force it to restart the process. When a cycle is broken, you don't simply pick up where you left off. Instead, your brain often has to re-enter through lighter stages before progressing again toward REM. This can lead to a night that feels long, but is actually fragmented, with fewer and shorter REM phases overall. The tricky part is that you might not remember these awakenings, especially if they're brief. You might wake up thinking, "I slept all night," yet still feel groggy or mentally foggy because the continuity of your cycles was disrupted. Sleep scientists call this micro-awakening, a momentary return to lighter consciousness that may last only seconds, but still resets your progress. Signs of disrupted cycles can include waking up feeling unrefreshed despite a full night in bed, difficulty recalling dreams, afternoon crashes, or brain fog, mood swings or irritability without clear cause. Understanding your own sleep cycle patterns is the first step toward protecting them. This is where sleep tracking tools, consistent routines, and environmental tweaks come in. Not just to help you fall asleep, but to help you stay asleep long enough to reap the full benefits of those later, longer REM stages. Now that you understand how REM fits into the bigger picture of your nightly sleep cycle, it's time to talk about the strategies that can help you access it faster, stay in it longer, and make it more restorative than ever. These are the 13 secrets we'll be exploring in depth throughout this series. And while they may sound simple on the surface, their impact can be profound when applied consistently. First, let's be clear. There's no single magic bullet for REM sleep. Instead, think of these secrets as puzzle pieces. Some work by improving your sleep environment, others by aligning your internal body clock, and still others by calming your mind so it naturally transitions into deep, dream-rich rest. Together, they create the conditions your brain needs to thrive at night. Here's a taste of what's coming. Environmental mastery, fine-tuning your bedroom so it signals your body that it's safe to shut down and go deep. Circadian rhythm, reset, syncing your daily light, exposure, meals, and activity to your natural biological clock. Nutrition and hydration. Hacks. Making sure what you consume supports rather than sabotages your REM stages. Mind-body wind-down rituals. Intentional practices that signal your brain it's time to shift gears. Tech and lifestyle tweaks. Controlling the modern-day factors that silently chip away at your sleep quality. Stress and mental clarity. Boosters, clearing the mental clutter that can block your transition into REM. Advanced sleep optimization. Strategies for those who want to take their REM performance to the next level. Think of the 13 secrets as members of a well-coordinated team. Each one plays a unique role, but the magic happens when they work together. You could improve your bedroom setup, for example, but if your body clock is completely out of sync, you'll still struggle to hit those later, longer REM phases. Similarly, you might perfect your wind-down ritual, but if your evening diet is heavy on sugar or stimulants, your sleep architecture can still take a hit. The key is synergy. When your sleep environment, daily habits, mental state, and physiological cues all line up, your body doesn't have to fight to get into REM. It naturally glides there. That's why the upcoming chapters aren't meant to be isolated, quick fixes, but rather interlocking steps that reinforce each other. Here's how some of the connections work. Secrets 1 and 2. Mastering your sleep environment and syncing your circadian rhythm creates a strong physical and biological foundation. Secrets 3 and 4. Nutrition and hydration then act as the fuel that supports stable cycles. Secrets 5 and 6. Wind-down rituals make it easier to transition smoothly through the lighter stages toward deep and REM sleep. Secrets 7 to 9. Tweaking your tech habits and lifestyle prevents unnecessary disruptions and keeps cycles intact. Secrets 10 and 11. Clearing mental clutter and reducing stress ensures your brain isn't too busy to settle into the dream state. Secrets 12 and 13. Advanced techniques help fine-tune your REM for maximum duration and intensity. The beauty of this approach is that improvements tend to snowball. For example, better REM leads to better emotional regulation, which reduces stress, which in turn makes it easier to fall asleep. And around the loop you go, gaining benefits at every pass. Behind each of the 13 secrets is a web of scientific evidence showing just how sensitive REM sleep is to environmental, behavioral, and physiological changes. The brain's pathways into REM aren't random. They're governed by a delicate balance of neurotransmitters, hormones, and internal timing cues that can be nudged in the right or wrong direction by the smallest shifts in your daily life. For example, Research shows that light exposure early in the morning helps regulate melatonin production at night, making it easier to reach deeper sleep stages later. That's why aligning your circadian rhythm isn't just about bedtime. It's about what you do the moment you wake up. Studies on bedroom conditions have revealed that even a few degrees too warm can reduce the length of REM phases, while noise pollution, even if you don't fully wake up, can fragment the cycle enough to shorten dream time. This is where environmental mastery comes in, ensuring your space is primed for uninterrupted cycles. On the nutritional front, certain amino acids like tryptophan, found in turkey, eggs, and nuts, promote serotonin production, which in turn supports healthy melatonin levels. Conversely, caffeine and alcohol, especially in the hours before bed, have been shown to delay REM onset and reduce its total duration. Even mental state plays a measurable role. Brain scans during REM show heightened activity in emotional centers, meaning unprocessed stress or anxiety can trigger more intense dreams or wakefulness. That's why mental clarity rituals like journaling or guided breathing aren't just nice to have. They're physiological tools for smoother REM entry. As we move forward, you'll see that these 13 secrets aren't random lifestyle tips. They're strategic levers that influence the exact biological systems controlling your sleep quality. By understanding the science behind each one, you'll be able to customize your approach and target the specific weak points holding your REM back. Behind each of the 13 secrets is a web of scientific evidence showing just how sensitive REM sleep is to environmental, behavioral, and physiological changes. The brain's pathways into REM aren't random. They're governed by a delicate balance of neurotransmitters, hormones, and internal timing cues that can be nudged in the right or wrong direction by the smallest shifts in your daily life. For example, research shows that light exposure early in the morning helps regulate melatonin production at night, making it easier to reach deeper sleep stages later. That's why aligning your circadian rhythm isn't just about bedtime. It's about what you do the moment you wake up. Studies on bedroom conditions have revealed that even a few degrees too warm can reduce the length of REM phases, while noise pollution, even if you don't fully wake up, can fragment the cycle enough to shorten dream time. This is where environmental mastery comes in, ensuring your space is primed for uninterrupted cycles. On the nutritional front, certain amino acids like tryptophan, found in turkey, eggs, and nuts, promote serotonin production, which in turn supports healthy melatonin levels. Conversely, caffeine and alcohol, especially in the hours before bed, have been shown to delay REM onset and reduce its total duration. Even mental state plays a measurable role. Brain scans during REM show heightened activity in emotional centers, meaning unprocessed stress or anxiety can trigger more intense dreams or wakefulness. That's why mental clarity rituals like journaling or guided breathing aren't just nice to have. They're physiological tools for smoother REM entry. As we move forward, you'll see that these 13 secrets aren't random lifestyle tips. They're strategic levers that influence the exact biological systems controlling your sleep quality. By understanding the science behind each one, you'll be able to customize your approach and target the specific weak points holding your REM back. Once you've dialed in temperature, light, and sound, the next layer of your sleep environment comes down to comfort cues, the tactile and sensory details that signal your brain. This is a safe place to rest. Your mattress is the foundation. A worn-out mattress can create pressure points, cause micro-awakenings, and even shorten REM phases by subtly disrupting circulation. The right choice depends on your sleep position. Side sleepers often do best with softer cushioning for hips and shoulders, while back and stomach sleepers may benefit from firmer support. Bedding also plays a big role in thermal regulation. Breathable fabrics like cotton, bamboo, or linen allow for better airflow, preventing heat buildup that can push you out of deep sleep. Weighted blankets, on the other hand, can provide gentle pressure that activates the parasympathetic nervous system, helping you relax. But they're best suited for cooler rooms so you don't overheat. Even pillows can affect your REM indirectly. The wrong loft or firmness can cause neck strain, which might not wake you fully, but can reduce overall sleep quality. Adjustable pillows, or those designed for your sleeping position, can make a surprising difference in morning alertness. Then there's scent, a sense that often goes overlooked in sleep discussions. Certain aromas, like lavender and chamomile, have been shown in studies to lower heart rate and blood pressure, promoting deeper, more restorative sleep. A diffuser with essential oils or even freshly washed bedding can subtly prime your brain for relaxation. The idea here isn't to create a hotel-perfect bed just for looks. It's to optimize every element so your body can stay asleep long enough to naturally extend those later REM periods. Comfort eliminates unnecessary awakenings, and awakenings are the enemy of long, unbroken REM phases. Even if your room is perfectly dark, quiet, and at the ideal temperature, there's another factor that can quietly sabotage your REM sleep: the psychological atmosphere of your bedroom. Your brain builds strong associations between spaces and activities. If your bedroom doubles as an office, a laundry staging area, or a scrolling on your phone zone, it may no longer send the sleep signal as strongly as it should. This is where decluttering comes in. Visual chaos can create subtle mental stress, keeping your brain in a state of low-level alertness. You might not consciously notice it, but your subconscious does, and that can make it harder to sink into the deeper stages of sleep. A clean, orderly space tells your brain nothing needs your attention right now, making it safer to fully relax. Beyond clutter, think about color and decor. Warm, muted tones and soft lighting tend to be more sleep-friendly than bright, stimulating colors or harsh overhead lights. A bedside lamp with a dim, amber bulb can help you wind down without triggering the daylight response in your brain. It's also important to establish single-purpose use for your bed. Experts in sleep psychology recommend reserving it for only two activities: sleep and intimacy. If you spend hours in bed working, watching TV, or doom scrolling on your phone, your brain starts to associate that space with mental stimulation rather than rest. Over time, this can delay your ability to transition smoothly into deep and REM sleep. Lastly, consider personal sleep cues. Small, consistent actions that tell your body it's time to power down. This could be turning on a white noise machine, dimming the lights, or even a short stretching routine you always do before getting under the covers. When repeated consistently, these cues can become powerful triggers that help your body move more quickly into the deeper stages of sleep. Your body has its own built-in timekeeper, a 24-hour internal clock known as the circadian rhythm. It governs everything from hormone release to digestion to body temperature, and most importantly, for our purposes, it dictates when you naturally feel awake or sleepy. If this clock is in sync, your body will want to enter deep and REM sleep at the right times. If it's out of sync, you can find yourself lying in bed, wide awake at night, and struggling to keep your eyes open during the day. The circadian rhythm is heavily influenced by light exposure, especially in the morning. When bright light hits your eyes first thing after waking, it sends a signal to your brain's suprachiasmatic nucleus, SCN, the master clock to start the day's timer. This helps suppress melatonin, the sleep hormone, in the morning and ensures it rises naturally at night. Without that signal, your internal clock can drift later and later, throwing off your sleep cycle. Here's why this matters for REM. If your circadian rhythm is shifted too far out of alignment, your REM periods may end up squeezed or mistimed. For example, if you go to bed too late but still wake early, you're often cutting off the longest REM phase that normally occurs in the early morning hours. Resetting your circadian rhythm starts with consistent sleep and wake times, even on weekends. It also means getting at least 15 to 20 minutes of natural light exposure within the first hour of waking. If that's not possible, bright indoor lighting can help, though sunlight is far more effective. If morning light acts as the on switch for your body clock, evening darkness is the off switch that primes you for deep, dream-rich sleep. The problem is, our modern world is full of artificial light sources that confuse the brain into thinking it's still daytime. The biggest culprit is blue light, the short wavelength light emitted by phone screens, tablets, computers, and LED bulbs. Blue light suppresses melatonin production more than any other wavelength, making it harder for your body to naturally transition into sleep mode. That's why scrolling TikTok in bed can make you feel oddly alert, even if you were tired just minutes before. One of the simplest fixes is to reduce bright and blue light exposure in the 2 hours before bed. This could mean switching to warm, dim lighting in your home at night, enabling night mode or blue light filter settings on your devices, or, ideally, avoiding screens altogether during your wind-down period. In addition to controlling light, your evening activities should also reinforce your circadian rhythm. Intense exercise, heavy meals, and caffeine late in the day can all push back your body's readiness for sleep. Caffeine, for instance, can linger in your system for 6 to 8 hours, subtly delaying melatonin release, even if you don't feel wired. Your bedtime routine plays a role here too. Doing the same calming activities each night, whether it's reading a paper book, taking a warm shower, or practicing light stretches, helps create a predictable pre-sleep rhythm that your brain learns to associate with shutting down. When morning and evening cues are consistent, your circadian rhythm becomes more stable, which means your REM phases will occur at the same times each night. This predictability is key to ensuring you get those long, uninterrupted toward the early morning. Even with perfect morning light and evening darkness habits, certain lifestyle factors can still throw your circadian rhythm into chaos. One of the most common is travel, especially across multiple time zones. When you land in a new location, your body's internal clock is still set to your original time zone, creating a mismatch between local time and your biological sleep-wake cycle. This is classic jet lag, and it can take days to fully adjust. Shift work poses an even bigger challenge. If your work hours require you to be active at night and sleep during the day, you're fighting against millions of years of evolution that tuned your body to be awake in daylight and asleep in darkness. Even with blackout curtains and perfect timing, many shift workers struggle to get full REM phases because their circadian rhythm is constantly out of sync. Then there's social jet lag, which affects people who keep one schedule during the work week and a very different one on weekends. Sleeping in until noon on Saturday might feel great, but it can shift your internal clock just enough that Sunday night becomes a struggle, leading to poor REM sleep as you try to force an earlier bedtime again. Here's how to counter these disruptions. For travel, begin adjusting your sleep and wake times a few days before your trip to gradually align with your destination's time zone. Seek morning light in your new location as soon as possible. For shift work, keep your sleep schedule as consistent as possible, even on days off. Use strong light exposure during your morning and block light during your night, even if it's daytime outside. For social jet lag, try to keep weekend wake-up times within 1 to 2 hours of your weekday schedule. By stabilizing your circadian rhythm, you create a reliable framework for your sleep cycles. And that means your REM stages will happen when they're supposed to. In the longer, richer durations your brain craves. What you put in your body during the day doesn't just affect your energy while you're awake. It directly influences the quality and timing of your sleep cycles, including REM. Food and drink can either set you up for long, uninterrupted dream phases or quietly sabotage them. Let's start with nutrition for sleep support. Your body needs certain nutrients to produce the neurotransmitters and hormones that regulate sleep. For example, tryptophan, an amino acid found in turkey, eggs, cheese, and nuts, is a building block for serotonin, which in turn helps produce melatonin. Pairing tryptophan-rich foods with complex carbs, like whole grains, can help more of it cross into your brain, subtly encouraging better REM. Magnesium is another key player, helping to relax muscles and calm the nervous system. Foods like almonds, spinach, pumpkin seeds, and dark chocolate can boost magnesium intake naturally. Low magnesium levels have been linked to restless sleep and frequent awakenings, both of which cut into REM time. Timing is just as important as content. Large or heavy meals within 2 hours of bedtime can keep your digestive system active when it should be winding down. Spicy or greasy foods may trigger indigestion, leading to micro-awakenings you won't remember, but that will fragment your REM cycles. Then there's caffeine, one of the most common sleep disruptors. Its half-life is about 6 to 8 hours, meaning that afternoon coffee can still be active in your system at bedtime, delaying REM onset and reducing total REM duration. Even if you fall asleep, caffeine can subtly shift your sleep architecture toward lighter stages. Hydration plays a surprisingly big role in how smoothly your body moves through sleep cycles, especially REM. Being even mildly dehydrated can raise your heart rate, increase nighttime restlessness, and make it harder to stay asleep. On the flip side, drinking too much water too close to bedtime can lead to repeated bathroom trips that fragment your cycles and rob you of those longer REM periods in the early morning hours. The goal is to front-load your hydration during the day. Aim to drink the majority of your fluids before dinner, then taper off in the evening. If you often wake thirsty at night, it could be a sign you're not getting enough during daylight hours, or that your bedroom is too warm or dry. Increasing fluid loss through breathing. A small sip of water before bed is fine, but avoid downing a full glass unless you want a 3 a.m. wake-up call from your bladder. What you drink also matters. Alcohol is one of the most disruptive factors for REM sleep. While it may help you fall asleep faster, it shortens REM duration and pushes more of your night into lighter stages. As your body metabolizes the alcohol, you're more likely to wake in the second half of the night, right when your richest REM phases are supposed to happen. Similarly, sugary drinks can spike your blood sugar and trigger an insulin response, which can cause restless sleep and vivid, sometimes unpleasant dreams. If you want to support REM, stick to water, herbal teas, or other low-sugar beverages in the hours before bed. Another overlooked factor: electrolyte balance. Sodium, potassium, and magnesium help regulate fluid levels and nerve signaling during sleep. If your diet is low in these minerals, or if you sweat heavily during exercise, you might benefit from replenishing them earlier in the day. To maximize your REM potential, your nutrition and hydration plan should work in harmony with your body's natural rhythms. This means fueling in a way that supports steady energy during the day, then gradually shifting your intake to prepare for rest at night. A sleep-friendly daily schedule might look like this. Morning. Hydrate right after waking to kickstart your metabolism and support your circadian rhythm. A balanced breakfast with protein, complex carbs, and healthy fats can stabilize blood sugar and set the tone for the day. Midday. This is your best window for caffeine if you need it, ideally before noon, so it clears your system well before bedtime. Keep hydration steady and focus on nutrient-dense meals rich in magnesium, potassium, and amino acids like tryptophan. Late afternoon. Begin tapering caffeine and limiting very high sugar snacks. Continue hydrating, but slow your pace so you're not overloading fluids right before bed. Evening. Aim for your last full meal 2 to 3 hours before sleep. Keep it moderate in size, light on heavy fats and spices, and include a balance of carbs and protein to support melatonin production. If you snack, choose something small and calming, like a banana with almond butter or a handful of walnuts. Night. Sip water only as needed. Herbal teas such as chamomile, lemon balm, or valerian root can support relaxation. but keep total fluid volume low to avoid mid-sleep bathroom breaks. Consistency is key. Your brain and body respond best when they can predict what's coming, so eating and drinking at roughly the same times each day reinforces your internal clock. Over time, this stability helps your sleep cycles, especially REM phases, become longer and more predictable. Your body can be perfectly fueled, hydrated, and sitting in an ideal sleep environment. But if your mind is still racing, REM sleep will be hard to reach. This is why wind-down rituals are so important. They act as a psychological and physiological bridge between the busyness of your day and the calm depth of restorative sleep. One of the simplest yet most effective tools is controlled breathing. Slow, intentional breaths signal the parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest mode, to take over. A popular method is 4 to 7-8 breathing. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7, exhale for 8. This pattern not only slows your heart rate, but also shifts your focus away from anxious thoughts. Another powerful practice is progressive muscle relaxation. Starting at your toes, gently tense each muscle group for a few seconds, then release. Moving slowly up through your body creates physical calm while helping you release hidden tension that can otherwise keep you on edge as you try to sleep. Gentle stretching or yoga can also prepare your body for rest. Poses like legs up the wall or child's pose can help slow circulation, ease lower back pressure, and send a signal to your body that it's time to settle. The key is consistency. By repeating the same wind-down activities in the same order every night, you train your brain to recognize these actions as precursors to sleep. Over time, this conditioning can help you fall asleep faster and glide more smoothly into the first REM phase. While physical relaxation primes your body for rest, mental relaxation is what frees your brain to fully enter and stay in REM sleep. If your head is still buzzing with unfinished tasks, replayed conversations, or tomorrow's to-do list, your mind can sabotage your sleep before it even begins. One of the most effective tools for quieting mental chatter is meditation. Even a short 10-minute guided session before bed can lower cortisol levels, reduce intrusive thoughts, and encourage a slower brainwave state. The mental runway you need for deep dreaming. Mindfulness meditation, where you focus on your breath and observe thoughts without engaging with them, is especially powerful for easing into sleep. Journaling can also be a game changer. Writing down tomorrow's tasks or your lingering worries helps clear them from your working memory, giving your brain permission to stand down for the night. Some people use a simple 3 things I'm grateful for list to shift their mental state from stress to calm before turning out the lights. Then there's visualization, a technique that guides your mind toward a peaceful scenario. You might imagine yourself lying in a quiet meadow, hearing a distant waterfall, or walking a familiar beach at sunset. By engaging your senses in this imagined world, you leave less room for stress-driven thoughts to intrude. If screens are part of your evening, be deliberate. Choose calming, non-stimulating content and avoid emotionally charged media right before bed. Your pre-sleep mental diet is just as important as your food and drink choices earlier in the day. When mental relaxation is combined with physical wind-down routines, the transition into sleep becomes smoother and faster. This gives you a better chance of hitting your first REM phase right on schedule, setting the tone for richer, more complete dream cycles throughout the night. When you add sensory cues to your wind-down rituals, you're essentially training your brain to associate certain smells, sounds, or lighting with the onset of sleep. Over time, these cues can act like a shortcut, signaling your body to relax and prepare for REM even before you lie down. Scent is one of the most powerful triggers because the olfactory system is closely linked to the brain's emotional and memory centers. Essential oils like lavender, chamomile, and sandalwood have been shown to reduce heart rate and blood pressure, helping create an internal state that's primed for deep sleep. You can diffuse these oils in your bedroom or use a pillow spray as part of your nightly routine. Sound can be equally effective. Some people find that white noise or pink noise helps mask disruptive sounds and create a stable auditory backdrop for sleep. Others prefer nature sounds, like rainfall or ocean waves, which can subconsciously cue the brain to shift into a more restful state. The key is consistency. Using the same audio pattern night after night reinforces the connection between that sound and falling asleep. Lighting also plays a role beyond just dimming the brightness. Warm, amber-toned light, or even candlelight, in the last hour before bed tells your brain that the day is ending. Over time, this becomes part of your sleep ritual, signaling the transition from wakefulness to rest. When these sensory cues are paired with physical relaxation, like stretching, and mental unwinding, like meditation, they form a multi-layered sleep signal system. Each layer reinforces the others, making it easier for you to fall asleep quickly and drift into those uninterrupted REM cycles that help with memory, mood, and creativity. Your sleep environment is more than just a backdrop. It's an active player in determining whether you drift into rich REM sleep or spend the night tossing and turning. Even small environmental disruptions can fragment your cycles and reduce the amount of time you spend in those deeper dream stages. One of the most critical factors is temperature. Your body naturally cools as you fall asleep, and REM sleep in particular seems to thrive in a slightly cooler environment. Most experts recommend keeping your bedroom between 60 If the air is too warm, you may wake frequently. Too cold, and your body might shift into lighter sleep stages to conserve heat. Layered bedding lets you fine-tune your warmth without fully waking. Light control is another must. Even small amounts of light, like a street lamp glow or a standby LED, can signal your brain to stay alert. Blackout curtains, an eye mask, or even repositioning your bed to face away from light sources can make a difference. Remember, light isn't just about what you see. It directly influences melatonin production, which controls the timing of your REM cycles. Then there's sound management. Sudden noises can pull you out of REM, even if you don't fully wake up. If you live in a noisy area, a white noise machine or earplugs can help mask interruptions. Consistent background sound works best because it prevents your brain from being startled by unpredictable noises. Finally, air quality plays a subtle but important role. Poor ventilation, dust, or low humidity can affect breathing comfort. And disrupted breathing means disrupted REM. Keeping the room fresh, clean, and at the right humidity, around 40–50%, can help you stay deeply asleep longer. Even the most perfectly cooled, dark, and quiet room won't guarantee deep REM if your bed isn't working with you. The right mattress and pillow setup can mean the difference between waking refreshed from vivid dreams and waking stiff after fragmented sleep. Mattress firmness is the first consideration. Too firm, and you may develop pressure points that cause you to shift positions more often, interrupting your REM cycles. Too soft, and your spine may lack proper alignment, leading to discomfort and unconscious adjustments throughout the night. The best choice often depends on your sleep position. Side sleepers tend to prefer medium to medium soft support, while back and stomach sleepers often benefit from a slightly firmer feel. Pillow choice is equally important. A pillow that's too high or too low can strain your neck and shoulders, causing micro-awakenings you might not remember, but that can cut REM short. Side sleepers usually need a thicker pillow to fill the space between shoulder and head, while back sleepers do better with medium loft, and stomach sleepers need something very thin or no pillow at all. Don't forget bedding materials. Breathable fabrics like cotton, linen, or bamboo help regulate body temperature, reducing the chances of waking from overheating. Moisture-wicking materials are especially useful if you tend to sweat at night. Weighted blankets can help some people feel calmer and fall asleep faster, but they should be light enough to avoid restricting movement. Lastly, consider mattress and pillow age. Over time, they lose support, which can lead to poor posture and discomfort during sleep. Most mattresses last 7 to 10 years, while pillows should be replaced every 1-2 years, depending on material and use. Once the basics of temperature, light, sound, and bedding are in place, you can take your sleep environment to the next level by adding personalized elements that trigger comfort and relaxation on a subconscious level. This is where your bedroom becomes not just a place to sleep, but a carefully curated REM sanctuary. Start with visual design. A cluttered space can subtly raise stress levels, making it harder for your brain to fully power down. Aim for a calming, minimal layout with colors that encourage relaxation. Soft blues, muted greens, or warm earth tones. Even the arrangement of furniture matters. Keeping the bed accessible from both sides and avoiding cramped pathways creates a sense of openness and ease. Can also be a game changer. We've already talked about essential oils like lavender for relaxation, but you can go a step further by associating a specific scent blend with your sleep routine. For example, diffusing a lavender cedarwood mix every night before bed, creates a scent memory, your brain will link directly to winding down. Texture and touch are underrated. The feel of your sheets, the softness of a throw blanket, or even the comfort of a favorite sleep shirt can become part of your sensory wind-down cues. Choosing materials you genuinely love touching can help anchor you in a calm state as you drift toward sleep. For some, personal objects can also promote a sense of security that aids REM sleep. This might be a framed photo, a plant you care for daily, or a small decorative item with sentimental value. These touches make the bedroom emotionally inviting, which can make falling and staying asleep easier. By shaping your sleep environment to be both functional and emotionally supportive, you remove subtle stressors and create a nightly invitation for your mind to dive into deeper, more restorative REM cycles. Your circadian rhythm is your body's 24-hour internal clock, regulating everything from hormone production to alertness levels. And it's one of the strongest forces determining when and how you enter REM sleep. If you've ever felt wide awake at midnight, but exhausted at 3 p.m., you've experienced what happens when your internal clock drifts out of sync. The key to aligning your circadian rhythm is consistency. Going to bed and waking up at the same times every day, yes, even on weekends, anchors your sleep cycle so your brain knows exactly when to initiate REM phases. Over time, this predictability strengthens your body's ability to enter REM faster and stay there longer. Morning light exposure is a powerful reset tool. Within 30 minutes of waking, get outside or open your curtains to let natural light hit your eyes. This suppresses melatonin production and signals your brain that it's time to be alert, which helps your circadian rhythm stay locked in place. Equally important is managing light at night. About an hour before bed, reduce exposure to blue light from phones, TVs, and computers. Blue light tricks your brain into thinking it's daytime, delaying melatonin release and pushing your REM schedule later than intended. If you must use screens, blue light filters, or amber-tinted glasses can help reduce the impact. Another overlooked factor is meal timing. Late-night eating can confuse your body's sense of time, especially if it's a heavy meal. Keeping dinner 2 to 3 hours before bed allows digestion to finish before sleep, signaling to your body that it's time to transition into rest mode. Even with a consistent routine, life has a way of throwing curveballs at your circadian rhythm. Seasonal shifts, travel across time zones, and even changing work schedules can nudge your internal clock off balance. And when that happens, REM sleep is often the first casualty. Seasonal changes affect light exposure, which is your circadian rhythm's primary cue. In winter, shorter daylight hours can make it harder to wake up fully in the morning, while summer's late sunsets can delay your sleep onset. You can counter this by adjusting your light exposure deliberately, using a light therapy lamp in darker months, or drawing blackout curtains earlier in bright summer evenings. Travel, especially across multiple time zones, can create jet lag, a mismatch between your internal clock and the local time. The trick here is gradual adjustment. If possible, start shifting your sleep and wake times by 15 to 30 minutes a day before your trip. Once at your destination, get outside during local morning hours to help your body adapt faster. Avoid heavy naps, as they can delay adaptation. Lifestyle shifts, like starting a night shift job or caring for a newborn, present a bigger challenge because they can permanently invert your natural light and activity patterns. In these cases, artificial light management becomes essential, using bright light during your active hours and keeping your sleep environment pitch black during rest times, even if that's midday. Another subtle disruptor is social jet lag, which happens when your weekday and weekend schedules differ too much. Sleeping in late on days off can shift your rhythm just enough to make Monday mornings feel like a different time zone. The fix: keep your weekend sleep and wake times within an hour of your weekday routine. The brain is not a machine. It doesn't reset with a switch, but it can be rebuilt, gently, wave by wave. Sleep isn't just about hours. It's about architecture, the structure and flow of your night. And like any structure, it can be restored. Deep sleep, the delta wave stage, is often the most compromised in insomnia. But the good news, it's also the most responsive to changes in lifestyle and environment. What helps deepen this stage? Consistent sleep-wake times, cooler bedroom temperatures, exercise during the day but not too late, avoiding caffeine after midday. These choices reduce sleep fragmentation and encourage your brain to dip further into delta activity, even if only for brief moments at first. Sleep spindles, bursts of brainwave activity during stage 2, help stabilize sleep and protect it from waking. They increase when the brain feels safe. Practices like mindfulness, pre-sleep relaxation, and white noise have been shown to encourage spindle activity, helping the brain settle more deeply into uninterrupted cycles. Healing REM sleep, the emotional stage, isn't just about dreaming. It's about emotional reset. To support REM, keep your sleep schedule regular. Allow for a full night's rest. Reduce emotional reactivity before bed. Even fragmented sleep can regain structure over time. The cycles begin to link back together. The waves begin to flow again. Your brain remembers how to sleep. It just needs the right rhythm to return. Your circadian rhythm isn't just about light. It's also influenced by movement, temperature cycles, and consistent evening cues. These factors act like secondary timekeepers, helping your body fine-tune when REM sleep happens. Exercise is one of the most powerful of these. Regular physical activity boosts deep and REM sleep quality, but timing matters. Morning or early afternoon workouts tend to strengthen your circadian rhythm, making it easier to fall asleep at night. Exercising too close to bedtime, however, can temporarily raise core body temperature and stimulate alertness, delaying REM onset. Aim to finish vigorous workouts at least 3 hours before sleep. Speaking of temperature, your body naturally experiences a daily cooling trend that signals it's time to rest. You can reinforce this by creating a small drop in body temperature before bed. For example, by taking a warm shower or bath about an hour beforehand. This sounds counterintuitive, but the warm water actually triggers blood vessels to dilate, causing your body to shed heat afterward and enter a cooler, sleep-friendly state. Evening cues are the final piece. Just as morning light sets the wake phase, repeating certain calming activities each night tells your brain it's time to wind down. This could be reading a physical book, sipping a non-caffeinated herbal tea, or listening to a specific playlist. The key is that these cues happen at the same time and in the same order every evening. Eventually, they become almost Pavlovian, prompting your body to begin the physiological process of preparing for REM sleep. When exercise timing, temperature regulation, and evening rituals align with your light and meal schedules, your circadian rhythm becomes a well-tuned system. This not only improves REM sleep consistency, but also makes you less vulnerable to disruptions from stress, travel, or minor schedule changes. Lucid dreaming is one of the most fascinating ways to engage with REM sleep. And while it's often seen as just a fun trick, it can also improve how refreshed you feel in the morning. When you're aware you're dreaming, you can steer the narrative toward calming, enjoyable scenarios instead of chaotic, stress-filled ones, which may reduce the emotional intensity of your night and help you wake up with a lighter mood. The foundation of lucid dreaming is dream recall. Keep a notebook or voice recorder by your bed and jot down anything you remember immediately upon waking. This trains your brain to pay attention to dreams, making lucidity more likely. The next technique is reality checks. Simple tests you perform during the day to question whether you're awake or dreaming. Examples include looking at your hands and counting your fingers, glancing at text, and then looking again to see if it changes, or trying to push a finger through your palm. By making these checks a habit while awake, you increase the chance you'll do them in a dream and realize you're dreaming. A more structured approach is the mild method, mnemonic induction of lucid dreams. As you fall asleep, repeat to yourself, "Next time I'm dreaming, I will realize I'm dreaming." This mental cue embeds itself into your subconscious and often triggers lucidity within a dream. Finally, wake back to bed can boost your chances significantly. This involves waking up after about 5 to 6 hours of sleep, staying awake for 20-30 minutes, then going back to sleep. This method takes advantage of the fact that REM stages become longer and more frequent in the latter part of the night. Lucid dreaming won't be instant. It's a skill that develops over weeks or months. But once mastered, it can turn REM into a consciously enriching, mentally restorative experience. For those who want to push REM optimization to the limit, neurofeedback and biohacking tools offer intriguing possibilities, though they work best as supplements to, not replacements for, natural sleep habits. Neurofeedback devices track brainwave activity and provide real-time data on your sleep stages. Some advanced models use gentle audio or light cues to nudge your brain toward REM-friendly patterns. While these tools aren't magic, they can help you spot patterns, like whether certain habits shorten your REM cycles, so you can make precise adjustments. Another option is wearable sleep trackers with vibration or sound prompts designed for lucid dreaming or deepening REM. These work by detecting when you've entered REM and delivering a subtle cue without waking you. The idea is to make the REM stage more stable or increase the chance of dream awareness. Temperature-regulating sleep systems are also popular among sleep hackers. These devices dynamically cool or warm your bed based on where you are in your sleep cycle, supporting the body's natural temperature shifts that promote longer REM phases. Lifestyle-wise, micro adjustments to caffeine and alcohol intake can make a surprising difference. Even if you think coffee in the late afternoon doesn't affect you, sleep tracking may reveal that it reduces your REM percentage. Similarly, limiting alcohol, especially within 3 hours of bedtime, prevents the REM suppression that often follows drinking. Finally, mental decompression before bed is essential, even for the most tech-optimized sleeper. No gadget can compensate for a mind that's still in go mode. Practices like journaling, slow breathing, or even a brief gratitude reflection can calm mental chatter, smoothing the path into uninterrupted REM. By combining natural routines, mental conditioning, and carefully chosen tech tools, you create a multi-layered approach that doesn't just get you to REM faster. It helps you stay there longer and wake up feeling sharper than ever. Tonight, try combining just 2 of the secrets we discussed. For example, controlling your bedroom temperature and doing a 5-minute relaxation routine before bed. See how you feel in the morning. Then, keep layering in new techniques each week until your sleep feels effortless. If this deep dive into REM sleep gave you new insights, imagine what's ahead. More tips, science-backed strategies, and surprising hacks to help you master your mind and body. So, if you're ready to keep exploring, hit that subscribe button, share this video with someone who needs better sleep, and drop a comment telling me, which REM secret will you try first tonight? Sweet dreams, and I'll see you in the next video. We've covered 13 secrets, from deep relaxation techniques and dream-enhancing nutrition to circadian alignment and advanced biohacking tools, all aimed at transforming the way you sleep. But knowing the secrets isn't enough. The real magic happens when you turn them into a repeatable nightly system. Here's how you can combine them. 1. Lock in your schedule, go to bed, and wake up at the same time every day. 2. Set the stage, cool, dark, quiet room with personalized comfort elements. 3. Prime your body. Light exposure in the morning, Exercise earlier in the day. Light dinner a few hours before bed. 4. Prime your mind. Evening wind down ritual. Dim lights. Disconnect from screens and engage in calming cues. 5. Sleep-enhancing extras. Add targeted nutrition, dream recall habits, or light sensory cues to boost REM richness. It's not about perfection. Some nights you'll nail the routine, others you won't. But the more consistent you are, the more your body learns to drop into REM like clockwork, and the more you'll wake up feeling clear, energized, and maybe even inspired by your dreams. Your call to action. Tonight, try combining just 2 of the secrets we discussed. For example, controlling your bedroom temperature and doing a 5-minute relaxation routine before bed. See how you feel in the morning. Then, keep layering in new techniques each week until your sleep feels effortless. If this deep dive into REM sleep gave you new insights, imagine what's ahead. More tips, science-backed strategies, and surprising hacks to help you master your mind and body. So, if you're ready to keep exploring, hit that subscribe button. Share this video with someone who needs better sleep. And drop a comment telling me, which REM secret will you try first tonight? Sweet dreams, and I'll see you in the next video.